Good morning, friends. So, we are discussing beneficial and harmful activities of microorganism. So, in previous lecture, we discussed beneficial activities of microorganism. So, I will briefly introduce this particular type of the organism. Beneficial and harmful activities. Some organisms are really beneficial to humankind. For example, those organisms which are used for different types of the food preparation. Actually, for example, curd, lactic acid, like that. Some organisms that are employed for industrial products, means to produce alcohol and other types of the beverages. We are using yeast and other types of the microorganism in fermentation process that will giving us good yield of the fermentation products. Similarly, in case of certain pharmaceutical industries also, we are using different organism in order to produce different types of the drugs, different types of the antibiotics, like that. So this is again one type of the use. In biotechnology also, we are using the organism to produce the transgenic type of the microorganism which can be used in agricultural field as well as in production of the certain hormones and different types of the products, you can say different types of the crops, varieties of crops, we can use this type of the organism. So these are really useful to humankind, and therefore these organisms are categorized as a beneficial microorganism because they give us benefit for the humankind, and they are useful in various aspects because they can be used in various fields of microbiology, air microbiology, as well as some organisms are also responsible for decaying the organic matter, and whatever the products are released, they can be again used. So it means that in environmental purpose, for in order to control the pollution, we can use it, as well as in industrial purpose we can use it, for agriculture purpose whenever we want to improve the soil fertility and whenever we want to increase the crop yield also, we can use some nitrogen fixing bacteria, and we can produce the different varieties of the plant also which are having the ability to fix nitrogen also. So it means that different organisms, they can be used for different purpose and they are really advantageous to us, so they are categorized as beneficial type of the organism. Some organisms are harmful, means what, they are producing certain harm as well as they are producing certain diseases in case of plants as well as in animals as well as in human beings. So whatever organisms which are causing the diseases, infections in animal, human being, these are termed as the harmful organism. So what are the examples of harmful organism? For example, pathogenic bacteria. Best example is pathogenic. Pathogenic means what? The organism causing diseases. The organism causing infections in human being. So these are the pathogenic organism. So these bacteria cause great losses to plants and animal population by causing several diseases. So when these organism, when that means pathogens, they are infecting either plants, they are infecting either animals, they are infecting either human beings. So whenever the organisms are mainly affecting plant varieties, then there is a great loss of the plant. Suppose the crop yield is there, that means the crop is there which is cultivated in the farms, and if some type of the bacteria, some pathogenic bacteria are infecting that particular crop variety, then what is the result of that? The crop yield will be less here. We will not obtain the expected yield on the particular crop. So that means the variety, or that means crop yield will be minimized there in order that because the organism, pathogenic organism has infected particular plant. So that is one type of the harmful kind of the bacteria. Secondly, in case of animals, some bacteria are infecting the animals and produces different diseases. So this is, for example, brucellosis. You may say the brucellosis is one of the example. Brucellosis caused by Brucella abortus organism, and is mainly this disease occurs in cow or in cattle. So whenever there is a brucellosis in case of cow, there is a reduction in yield of the milk. We don't obtain that much quantity of milk from cow. So buffalo, cow, this particular cattle are there, and the cattle may get infected by such type of the pathogenic organism, for example Brucella abortus like organism. I given only one example. how the animal get infected and how we that means they get harmed. So that is one kind of the organism. Several diseases are there. So many diseases are there. For example, in case of human being, you may say that different bacteria are causing different types of infection. Staphylococcal infection, streptococcal infection, clostridium infection, E. coli infection, so many pseudomonas infection, so many infections are there. Some organism they may causes dysentery in human being, some organism may cause cholera in human being, some organism may cause typhoid in human being, some viruses cause viral diseases in human being. So all these bacteria, all these viruses which are causing harm and which are causing infections or diseases in human being, they are all categorized as a harmful bacteria. So they are called as harmful microorganism. And some here, that means the organism which are responsible for reduction in soil fertility. See here, some facultative anaerobic organisms are there, and they are mostly available in the oxygen deficient soil. Oxygen deficient soil which reserve the nitrifying process and therefore causing the loss of the part of its combined nitrogen. So these bacteria break down the nitrates in a stepwise manner either to ammonia or N2 through dissimilatory nitroduction. So what happens here? Some facultative anaerobic microorganisms are there and they are growing mostly in the oxygen deficient area in the soil, but they are which is reverse of the nitrifying process. So what these bacteria are doing? These bacteria causes the loss of the part of its combined nitrogen, and therefore they bacteria break down the nitrates and ammonia and then nitrogen. So this is one of the activity of the soil bacteria. So these bacteria, one thing is that they are growing in anaerobic condition, and whatever the nitrogen is there, nitrate is there, that is converted into ammonical form and N2. Actually, nitrogen should be fixed by the rhizobia, and rhizobia are a helpful organism. But this is the reverse process these bacteria are doing. Another type of the bacteria which are present in soil, they are doing reverse process, and that means whatever nitrogen is there, that is also get diminishes, and therefore the soil nitrogen content will be also minimized there. So that will affect the fertility of the soil, and that is resulting in the crop yield. So it means that some kind of bacteria they are increasing the fertility, but some kind at the same time some bacteria present in the soil they are decreasing the fertility of the soil. So both kind of bacteria we have to take into consideration. Two types of bacteria are definitely there. Some bacteria are increasing the fertility by fixing atmospheric nitrogen and making it available for the pea plant. Second type of bacteria which are growing in oxygen deficient soil, they are exactly doing the reverse process and making unavailability of the nitrogen, and they are going to decrease the fertility of the soil. They are responsible for decreasing the nitrogen content of the soil. This is one kind of the bacteria. Then some organism, harmful bacteria we are discussing here. Some bacteria, some microorganism, they are responsible for spoilage of food material. So spoilage of food material, when we prepare the food material, it is necessary to keep it in a covered condition. It is necessary to preserve it. So sometime what happen, some bacteria they are growing in the food material. When they enter, only one cell if it is entering in food material, this is also sufficient, because when the food material is available, naturally the organism can take the nutrient from the same material and they will going to multiply that. So when the cell get multiplied, there is an increasing number of the cells, and that is when the cell biomass will be increased. Some bacteria, for example Streptococcus, Micrococcus, Lactobacillus, they cause spoilage of milk and different milk products. See here, milk is the best food for human being. All of you know that. But similarly, it is the best food for microorganism also, as it contains all the necessary ingredients for the growth. It contains vitamins, it contains the lactose sugar, that means carbohydrate is there, fat is there, protein is there, all the growth factors are there, all the vitamins are there. So it means that this milk will be complete food for the bacteria also. But you have to take into consideration, whenever the bacteria are growing in the milk, naturally the quality of the milk, color will be changes, flavor of the milk will also get changes. whatever organisms are doing, they are going to convert the quality. That means they are going to convert the all the aspects, all the qualities of the milk into different desirable, undesirable changes are there. So Streptococcus, Micrococcus, Lactobacillus, these are the examples of organisms which are responsible for spoilage of milk. Spoilage means what? Undesirable change. Undesirable change means what? The change in taste, change in color, change in flavor. Typical flavor is there, so that flavor get also changes. Color of the milk is whitish, that is also going to change. Then taste and other nutrient quality of the milk also get changes due to only growth of the microorganism. So microorganism once grow in milk, they are doing their activities in, they start their activity in the milk, and once they start their activity, naturally the result is that change in the quality, flavor, color, odor, nutritive value, etc. Means by all means the quality of the milk get changes, and undesirable changes are definitely there, and that undesirable change we call it as a spoilage. The milk get spoiled. So this is one kind of the microorganism which is going to which is responsible for spoilage of milk. Then some microorganisms are responsible for pollution. For example, water pollution, you can say. Some bacteria pollute water, and whenever the pollution is there, particularly in rainy season, we know that some bacteria are soil get mixes in the river water, and some bacteria are coming along with that. They're also going to enter in the river body, and these if we consume such type of the river water without any proper treatment methods, if the water is not properly treated and without the municipal water supply is not sufficiently, that means adequate also, and if it is not sufficiently pure, then it may cause different diseases. Because if we don't consume boiled water, then definitely the organism persists there in the water body, and that organism may be responsible for causing diseases, epidemic diseases. For example, cholera is there, typhoid is there, and sometimes dysentery is there. So such type of the diseases will be transmitted through polluted or contaminated water. So it means that this precaution should be taken there whenever there is rainy season. So we have to take proper precaution to consume the boiled and pure water. Then some organisms, they are so dangerous that they can be used for biological warfare. So in biological some warfare, in war period we can use atom bomb and other types of the big weapons. So organism can be used as a biological weapons. One thing you remember, the organisms which are toxin producing, particularly these organisms, they are used as a biological warfare purpose, or they can be used for as a biological weapons. So for example, the organism causing anthrax, Bacillus anthracis is the causative agent of anthrax. So Bacillus anthracis, suppose it is a toxin producing. So we can use Bacillus anthracis for a biological warfare. We can use it for biological weapon. Then organism which is causing tuberculosis, Mycobacterium tuberculosis. So this Mycobacterium tuberculosis can be used as a secret war agent. You can, because organisms are not visible. So how we come to know that this particular object is having the organism, this particular item is having this particular organism, this water will is containing such type of the organism. If we consume the water, if we drink that water, the organism will enter in our body naturally. So it means that through this water sample, or you can say the food sample, the organism can be sent to community, and they will that means they can be used as a biological weapon. You even don't understand that this food is containing that organism. If we consume, if we eat, then that means there is again some type of the diseases. So in this way, without any outward symptom, you can say that this particular type of the organism, they can be used for the biological war or as a biological weapon. That means they are not visible totally. So how we can say that the organism is there? We don't say, but they can be used in that way. This is so that it is known secret war agents. It is top secret of the nation, which organism can be used for which purpose. It is secret of the nation, but they can use it. So one thing you remember, that the organism, even though they are useful, beneficial, At the same time, the organism is harmful to us. And the best example now we are knowing COVID-19. COVID-19, the virus is there, coronavirus, which is very, very dangerous, very harmful to us. It is the best example of pathogenic and the harmful kind of the bacteria. You can give the example of coronavirus, which is the best example of harmful microorganism. The organism, the virus, which is not visible with our naked eye, but creating havoc in the globally, and this is a that means producing the pandemic type of the situation is there. When epidemic diseases become widespread, that is known as pandemic disease. So it means that such type of the global havoc is there, and that type of the havoc is created by this coronavirus. So you can imagine just how the organism can be dreadful, how they, to what extent they are harmful to human being. So this is the example of harmful activities of the microorganism. So the next one we are going to study here, the classification of microorganism, how the organisms get classified. We know that in a botany and zoology, classification system is there, binomial system is there, and Carolus linear system you might have studied in botany, which is using the two biological binomial system, genus and species we are using there. So for whenever we are mentioning any plant, either we have to mention its botanical name, or we can mention its the practical name, which is convenient for use. In botanical name we can mention genus and species, and in botanical name why we are using that botanical name, in order to systematically classify the plants in the plant kingdom. Similarly, in case of animal also, we classify different animals in animal kingdom, and this classification system is the best because if we want to study each and every animal in detail, the classification system is the best way. Because on earth planet, so many kinds of plants are there, so many kinds of bacteria are there, so many kinds of animals are there. So it is not easy for one person to study each and every plant, each and every organism, each and every animal in detail, and therefore it is necessary to classify them in particular classes, in particular families, kingdom, like that. So by studying their characteristics and similarities and other characteristics, we are going to classify, we are going to group, we are in group into particular categories, and therefore it is a classification system. So here also, so many microorganisms are there on the planet earth, and these organisms are classified. So what is the system of classification in case of microorganism? That part we are going to study here. So Haeckel, Whittaker and Carl Woese, there are some biologists who attempted a broader system of classification. Three scientists are there, Whittaker, Haeckel and Woese. So these three biologists, they have attempted one system of classification, and that classification system is known as five kingdom classification system, which is proposed by Robert Whittaker. So that Whittaker system of classification is widely used in order to classify microorganism. So what is this kind of classification system? The kingdom defined by him were named as Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae and Animalia. Five kingdoms are there: Monera, Protista, Fungi, Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae and Animalia. Plantae means plants, Animalia, that is including all animals. So Plantae, Animalia, this is very easy to remember. Only you have to remember the other three: Protista, Monera and Fungi. Okay, fungi also known to you. In 12th standard you have studied fungi. So fungi, Plantae, Animalia, these three known to you. Only two are new, Protista and Monera. The main criteria for classification used by him was cell structure, mode of nutrition and body organization, reproduction. So what type of the criteria they have used? What type of characteristics they have considered as a basic criteria for classification? So the basic main criteria they have studied for classification include the cell organization, mode of nutrition and reproduction and structure of the cell. So that is one criteria they have used there for the classification system. See here, when we want to classify any organism, then one basic thing we need, that is the so that morphology or anatomy, what it may be. So it some characteristics of the plant, some characteristics of the animal. So these criteria must be there, and on that basis we can classify the organism. So what basis the organisms are classified here? The cell structure, or you can say cell organization, the mode of nutrition of the cell, and means autotrophic, heterotrophic, chemoautotrophs, chemoheterotrophs, what type of nutrition is there, and reproduction method. So on that basis the organisms are classified. Then there are different levels of classification here: kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, and species. Kingdom will be the first, that means first level. Then after that phylum comes, after that class, then it will come order, then follows family, then genus and species. म्हणजे पहिल्यांदा किंगडम येणार, प्लांट असेल, ॲनिमल असेल किंवा मोनेरा असेल, काय असेल ते पहिल्यांदा किंगडम, त्याच्यानंतर फायलम येणार, फायलम नंतर क्लास येणार, मग ऑर्डर येणार, मग फॅमिली आणि मग जिनस आणि स्पेसीज. सो दीज आर द लेवल्स ऑफ क्लासिफिकेशन: किंगडम, फायलम, क्लास, ऑर्डर, फॅमिली, जिनस, स्पेसीज. फर्स्टली विल डिस्कस किंगडम मोनेरा. पहिलं किंगडम कुठलं आहे? मोनेरा, पहिला टाईप. दीज ऑर्गॅनिझम्स आर प्रोकॅरियोटिक अँड युनिसेल्युलर. म्हणजे आपले जे ऑर्गॅनिझम्स आहेत ते पहिल्या या किंगडममध्ये येतात, मोनेरामध्ये सगळे बॅक्टेरिया. दे डू नॉट हॅव वेल डेव्हलप्ड न्यूक्लियस. सम ऑर्गॅनिझम्स आर ऑटोट्रॉपिक अँड अदर्स आर हेटरोट्रॉपिक. फॉर एक्झाम्पल बॅक्टेरिया, सायनोबॅक्टेरिया, मायकोप्लाझ्मा. मोनेरामध्ये सगळे बॅक्टेरिया आले because they are not having the well developed structure, well developed nucleus. So kingdom monera includes all types of the bacteria: cyanobacteria, mycoplasma. Okay. Then kingdom protista. Protista मध्ये काय येणार? युनिसेल्युलर. These organism grouped under this kingdom are also unicellular, one cell organism, but eukaryotic. Eukaryotic म्हणजे ट्रू न्यूक्लियस इज देअर. थोडाफार तरी न्यूक्लियस त्यामध्ये डेव्हलप झालेला असतो. So in case of protista, the organisms are unicellular, but nucleus is somewhat developed, that is the eukaryotic organism. They exhibit either autotrophic or heterotrophic mode of nutrition. For example diatoms, protozoa. एक तर त्यांचं न्यूट्रिशन ऑटोट्रॉपिक असतं किंवा हेट्रोट्रॉपिक, म्हणजे CO2 विल बी यूज्ड ॲज अ कार्बन सोर्स, दॅट इज ऑटोट्रॉपिक, ऑर ऑर्गॅनिक कंपाऊंड्स विल बी यूज ॲज अ कार्बन सोर्स. म्हणजे एक तर ऑर्गॅनिक कंपाऊंड्स कार्बन सोर्स म्हणून वापरतात काही ऑर्गॅनिझम, त्यांना हेट्रोट्रॉपिक म्हणतो. आणि जे ऑर्गॅनिझम CO2 हा कार्बन सोर्स म्हणून वापरतात त्यांना आपण काय म्हणतो? ऑटोट्रॉपिक ऑर्गॅनिझम. सो हिअर द ऑर्गॅनिझम्स आर either autotrophic or heterotrophic. For example, the diatoms, fungi, diatoms and protozoa, these are including in protista. Then kingdom Animalia. This kingdom includes organisms that are multicellular, eukaryotic, without the cell wall, and they have heterotrophic mode of nutrition. All animals. The animals including this particular kingdom: Porifera, Coelenterata, Arthropoda, Chordata, Hydra, starfish, birds, monkeys. जे सगळे ॲनिमल्स आहेत ते सगळे ॲनिमल किंगडममध्ये त्यांचं क्लासिफिकेशन केलेलं आहे. देन किंगडम प्लांटी. So firstly we discuss protista and animalia we discuss. Kingdom fungi. Fungi, the organisms that are grouped under kingdom fungi are heterotrophic, unicellular and eukaryotic. They use decaying organic matter as a food, and fungi also form symbiotic association. Kingdom fungi मध्ये सगळे fungi आले which are heterotrophic, and they are eukaryotic multicellular organism. Fungi you know very well: algae, yeast, aspergillus, penicillium. These are some examples of the fungi. And some organisms, some algae are also blue-green algae. So this blue-green algae also comes under fungi. So these blue-green algae, they can carry out photosynthetic process because they are having the chlorophyll pigment. So these organisms are including in kingdom fungi. Then kingdom Plantae. These are eukaryotic and multicellular organism with cell wall that is made up of cellulose. Kingdom Plantae मध्ये काय येणार? सगळे plants. This includes all the plants. In plant we know that cell wall is made up of cellulose. So this plant is divided into different divisions: Thallophyta, Bryophyta, Pteridophyta, Angiosperm, Gymnosperm, Fern, Mango plants for example. सगळे जे प्लांट्स व्हरायटीज आहेत ते सगळे प्लांट किंगडम प्लांटीमध्ये येतात. इन किंगडम प्लांटी the multicellular organism, eukaryotic and cellulose. It is made up of cellulose. So this includes Thallophyta, Bryophyta, Pteridophyta, Gymnosperm and Angiosperm. So this type of the system of classification is there, and that is Monella, Protista, fungi, Plantae, and Monera, Protista, fungi, Plantae and Animalia. So these fungi, this type of the classification, 5 classes are there, 5 kingdoms are there. It is known as Whittaker classification system. Thank you.